going on, guys? It's Hellfire with Maschine Masters, and I wanted to make this video real quick to give you guys a very important piece of advice. And that advice is to simply back your shit up. You know, to put it bluntly, back up your shit. You know, there's no worse feeling or anything more depressing than losing your hard work, especially when you lose years and years worth of work. Or in my situation where you run a recording studio and you lose clients' work. So I just want to make this video real quick to share with you guys my personal file backup solution, as well as to give you guys some backstory of a situation that happened to me when I had a hard drive failure. So this is a situation that happened to me. So basically the way I like to back my stuff up is I like to synchronize my complete hard drive on one computer to an identical hard drive on another computer. And what happened was, I was originally on PC and I started making a transition to Mac. I started off with a MacBook Pro to get the hang of OS X, and I still had a PC in my studio. Then after I got the MacBook, about a year later, I got an iMac for my family computer in the living room, which I also used to make music when I wasn't in the studio. So I always kept, you know, an identical copy of all my music files on my family computer that matched identically with my studio computer. When I switched to Mac, there was a time where the synchronization software that I was using stopped working for some reason, because, you know, some stupid thing you gotta set up to get a Mac to sync with a PC called SMB synchronizing or something like that. And there was one time where the communication between the Mac and the PC stopped working, and I was so busy I didn't have time to diagnose it and figure out, you know, why the connection wasn't working. And of course, during that week, what happens is my studio hard drive fails, and I lost about a week or two worth of work, including some of my clients' work. Now, this could have been worse for me if I didn't have a backup solution at all, but I did have some solution in place. You know, this is just to let you guys know what could have happened if you don't have a backup at all, which I know a lot of you guys don't. And I hear stories all the time, oh, I had a hard drive failure, I can't get my stems for that beat. You know, you sell a beat and it's on a hard drive that failed, you can't get the stems, and, you know, now it messes up your money. The way this messed up my money was, like I said, I lost some of my clients' work. And what I had to do basically for the next couple of months was re-record a whole bunch of material for free and remix all this material for free, you know, that the client paid for. Again, I just want to make this video to make sure you guys don't get in this same situation or a worse situation by losing even more work than I lost. You know, I lost some really important stuff, nothing too major, but again, it was still something that a couple of my clients paid for, and, you know, it's not really professional to lose, you know, people's work that they paid you to do. So let me show you guys a couple of the solutions that I use to make sure all my stuff is backed up. So on Mac, what I use is a program called ChronoSync, and you can get that from econtechnologies.com. This one is not free. You can try it, but, you know, it's really worth it to buy it. Let me show you what my computer looks like. Basically, this is my Mac Pro. You can see all the different hard drives I have attached to it. I have two Pro Tools hard drives, this one and this one. And my first one was full, so I added another one. And you can see on my network, which is my other computer upstairs, I have an identical copy of each hard drive. Now, the reason why I like to back it up to a separate computer is just in case. You never know if you're gonna have a fire in your studio or somebody breaks into your studio and takes all your stuff. If you keep your backup in your studio, you know, with your main computer, and somebody breaks in and takes it, or, you know, your studio burns down, you know, there goes your backup and it's worthless. So I like to keep it in a completely separate location. I don't really recommend backing up to the cloud. I mean, it's cool. It costs money to do that. And I personally don't trust it, because you don't know where, you know, what server somewhere around the world your files are sitting on. And, you know, what if their stuff burns down? Then, you know, what happens to your files? It might be being paranoid, but that's the way I see it. I personally like to have all my material in my possession, you know. So I like to keep a complete backup separately from my main backup. So this synchronization software does that for me. So what you can do is you can basically synchronize every single file from one hard drive to the other. You can schedule the backups. I like to set my backups to run like after 3 in the morning when I'm usually asleep. Most times, sometimes I'm awake after that, but for the most part, after 3 a.m., I'm asleep, so I'll set the backup to run at that time. And what it does is it basically runs a schedule and copies every file from this hard drive to this hard drive. So these two hard drives are completely identical. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to do work from either computer. When it goes to synchronize, it's going to keep the newest version of the file. So I can start work on this computer, then I can go upstairs to my other computer, continue to work on there, and then once it runs the synchronization, it's going to send the updated files to here, and then I can come back here and you know, continue my work. And you can also set it so that it archives any files that it deletes, just in case it deletes something that you don't want it to. I've never had that problem, but I guess it's always good to have that precaution just in case. Now this one's for Mac, and like I said, you have to pay for this. I bought it. I think it's worth it. It's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do. Another thing that it does is that every time it does a successful synchronization, I set it to send me an email so I know that it's successfully synchronized. You know, so every day I get an email for each one of my folders that I have set to synchronize that it was successful. And if it wasn't successful, it gives me an email saying why. And usually what will happen is that the power will go out and the network will get reset, and I have to basically tell it to repoint it back to the synchronization file paths. That's pretty rare, but sometimes it does happen. But it's good to have that email notification so you know that your stuff is being backed up. And when I had the hard drive crash, I didn't have that going on. So the first week, I didn't even know that it wasn't backing up. And then when I finally realized that it wasn't backing up, I was too busy to diagnose it. So, you know, that's a very handy feature, and, you know, I really rely on that. And again, this is ChronoSync. We're gonna put the links down in the description so you guys can go and try this software out. I don't know if this is for Windows. No, it's for Mac OS X only. The other one I had when I was on PC is this one, Demio Tools. It's called Desynchronize. This one's free, and it basically does the same exact thing as ChronoSync. You can set, you know, when you want what specific folders to synchronize. You can synchronize individual folders. You can synchronize an entire hard drive, which is what I do for most of my stuff. It's really handy to have that, to be able to go and work between two different PCs and not have to manually copy all your files. So this one's called Desynchronize, and this is the website you get it from. And then you can see I also have my complete hard drive on this computer. Now I also had another complete hard drive on my other computer that also synced, but that hard drive had a crash. But because I have a backup on this computer, you know, it didn't give me any downtime. Now I still have to get another hard drive to replace that one. So if this one does crash, I could be in trouble, but it's just complete. I have the installation hard drive too, so I can reinstall it if I lose it. And then the other thing that is really handy is if you're a Mac user, is using Time Machine. Time Machine, I cannot stress to you how many times this saved my ass. What this is good for is basically it makes an entire snapshot of your operating system drive, right? Basically, I can go into Time Machine, and I can go to any one of these days over here. I think you go back, you know, a month or two, and I can pull any file back to the current date from the past. So how this saved my ass a couple times is a couple ways. One time I had one of my MPC files got corrupted somehow, and I almost lost the beat. Luckily, I had my Time Machine back up. I was able to go back in the past pull a version, the last saved version of that beat back to my current hard drive, and I was able to save my beat. Another thing that happened was I accidentally saved one beat over another beat. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And again, I was able to go into Time Machine and pull, you know, my beat back out, and you know, I was able to save it that way. Now with Time Machine, you're gonna wanna get a separate hard drive for that as well, which I have here, my Mac Pro backup. That one I do keep down here because I don't think you can back that up over a network. I'm not sure, I never tried, but that one's backing up pretty much your whole entire computer. So let's say you had to get a new computer, or I don't know, you installed El Capitan and you didn't like it, you can go back and reinstall, you know, your last operating system, or basically wipe your whole entire system out and go back to a previous date, as well as retrieve older versions of files. So, and I set Time Machine to back up every hour. Now, when you set Time Machine for the first time, it's gonna try to synchronize, it's gonna try to back up all of your hard drives connected to your computer. So you're gonna wanna go in here and you're gonna wanna take off all your audio hard drives, because if you back up all your audio hard drives to your Time Machine backup, it's gonna fill up like within the first backup, and you're not gonna have any space left. So that's why I use a separate backup system for, you know, for my audio hard drives, separate from my operating system hard drive. Time Machine is free with Mac. I don't know of another solution for Windows, so I can't really help you with that, but there are other third-party solutions you can use for Windows that do cost money. I know Carbon Copy Cloner is one of the most popular ones. So yeah, that's basically it. I don't think I missed anything, but hopefully, you know, this information was useful for you guys. If you guys have any specific questions about this stuff or need any more advice about backing up, just leave a question or hit me up on Instagram or wherever, and I'll try to, you know, get back to you guys and answer your questions. All right, so again, Hellfire with Maschine Masters. Thanks for watching. Peace.